Alright. Oh god, that's loud. Alright. Oh, wait a minute. You know, if I do that, I had it'll confirm. I hope. You okay? Oh, it doesn't come back out. I'm gonna be playing Civ 6. All the DLC as of Gathering Storm, not as expansion pass, which is a bunch of civs. So I'm gonna be playing Storm. Difficulty Prince I'll probably lose because I'm actually terrible at Civ, as much as I love it. And we're going to be doing another Earth map, which is a mod where everybody map of Earth. It's usually a larger Civ supports, and everybody spawns in their actual locations. So I could choose a Civ to go with. I don't know what happened to Canada. Canada's gone. But I think it'll be more fun if we go with a random. Computer has given me hell today, so I hope it'll work. It should work better than previously because now I have an SSD in my computer, and while I was unable to get the operating system to move to the SSD,
from the first stirrings of life
Aztecs, I was able to move some games there, so Civ 6 is on there. And now if I do any MCC stuff or any Titanfall 2 stuff, I can do that on the SSD and then record on a different hard drive, so it should mitigate recording problems when I do episodes back to back or long episodes. It also means that any game I want to record I can temporarily move to the SSD. So that should work out. It'll probably take a while to load because of the map type. I've just playing a lot of Civ lately, not just Civ 6, but like Civ 4, oddly enough Civilization Revolution, even though I have a lot of issues with that game. I wanted to play Alpha Centauri, but I had... GOG Galaxy had this weird issue where games would install up to 93% and then not continue. So maybe I'll do Alpha Centauri. I've streamed that before, but it has some issues capturing. But there are some mods to help it run better on modern PCs, so I wonder if those would help it capture better. Worst comes to worst, I can try virtualization again. Last time that did not go well, but maybe it'll go better. This time someone's informed me of some different VM software, so... But yeah, it was a hassle because the SSD is only 500 gigabytes. Well, my internal hard drive is a terabyte, so I had to delete stuff to clone it, and while the cloning went okay, I did really well building that. The problem was that the BIOS does not want to recognize that there is a second Windows install, and I didn't wipe the C drive because I want to keep it, and I didn't want to wipe that until, you know, I got the OS running on the new hard drive, and maybe it would have worked had I removed my hard drive from this laptop and used the SSD, or if I had wiped it, or if I had reassigned the SSD to drive C, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to take the risk, so I had to delete a bunch of stuff, which is fine, I can get it back, except that some of my music library was not backed up and is missing. And also my iPod died, which was the way I listen to music while being asleep. And oh, I didn't realize that there was a volcano right there. Yeah, you're gonna defend that. You're gonna scout. Why is it not scrolling via the mouse? Is interface, lock mouse to window full screen. Oh, well, scroll and mouse at edge enabled. Well, at least that works. So yeah, that sucks. And in order to get an 80 gig iPod hard drive, which I had, it's like $90. Not to mention I need a new battery, and yes, there are SSDs and microSD adapters, but it just costs so much that it's not going to be worth it. But that's upsetting to me. I'm gonna try going religion just because we'll just show off the religion mechanic, and also because I don't often do that. Although this is probably a dumb move. Like many strategy games, I enjoy Civ a lot, but I'm actually pretty bad at it. So if you're not aware of the concept of Civ, oh good, why do these mods always re-enable? Alright, I actually should just unsubscribe from the mods. Excuse me, I want the minimap to work. I have some mods that mess with that. I might actually unsubscribe from them because even though I manually disable them every time, they always re-enable themselves. So, like more should be. I don't need like the cheat maps. I mean, that's neat. Yeah, just I need to go mess with these later. Let's not play with removable districts. Oh, I had starting scout. Yeah, the untitled map mod. I don't know what's wrong with this mod. It just doesn't work, and I don't know why I haven't unsubscribed from it. Okay. Am I allowed to delete it? I mean, I don't need that. Radio measuring tool. I don't even know why I have that. I never use it. The production queue is buggy. That gives too many notifications. I had cheat maps just to play around for fun, but they're buggy, they're not very good. I don't need this. Okay. So did that get rid of the map screen? Okay, let's check again. On child map mod. Is it here? I just hate it. It was a good idea, but it doesn't actually work. Oh. Anyways, let's resume. So if you're unfamiliar with the the concept of civilization, it's that you pick a civilization which changes, your leader, a unique unit or buildings, a bonus. So like spend builder charges to complete the original district coast. Their unique unit's Eagle Warrior. Their unique building is... I don't even know how to pronounce that. Games and Recreation. Classical Era provides 1 tourism. After having conservation sickness, gives luxury resources in the territory produce. Amenities, the 2 extra cities. Military units receive +1 combat strength and attacking for each different luxury resource improved in Aztec lands. In addition, when you're playing with AI, each Civ has their own personality. And specifically in Civ 6, they have their own agendas, which they each get a pool of them, which can be active in the game, but not all of them will be active. And different Civ games have different systems and maybe focuses and goals, but they're all the same basic concept. So you take your civilization, found cities, advance through the ages, contact with other civilizations. You can go to war, form alliances, build structures, wonders, units. And in the end, you're trying to get victory, which can be one of several victories. Either military victory, where you capture everyone's capitals, science victory, which has to do with usually some sort of space mission, like colonizing Mars or Alpha Centauri. That depends on the game. Some games have economic victory. It might just be civilization revolution, which has to do with hoarding a lot of money. There's cultural victory, which has to do with producing a lot of culture and or tourism, depends on the game. Civ 6 specifically has a religion victory, where you make your religion the only religion in the world. Which Civ 6 also introduced religious combat, which is weird. Or theological combat, excuse me. Oh, I got a new recon unit from that village. There's a points victory, which it keeps track of points, and the points victory is basically if you run out of time. And there's a volcano, which Civ 6 has natural disasters, which were somewhat in place in Civ 3 and 2 and maybe 1. But yeah, Civ 6, the Gathering Storms expansion added in natural disasters as well as climate change, which can change depending on everyone's greenhouse gases output. I need to increase my mouse sensitivity. Are there any other victory types? Oh, some games have diplomatic victory. Oh my god. What was that? I need to go check on that. Got knocked over like a ton of boxes and books and stuff. Okay, but yeah, diplomatic victory, which can be oh, where did I get a builder from? I wasn't producing a builder. Oh, it's from that village. Okay. I guess I'll build some farms. Yeah, which diplomatic victory, let's see, in Civ 6 you can get a diplomatic victory through diplomatic victory points, which is after like the World Council is founded. You can earn victory points by like responding to like crises and special events like the World Games or the World's Fair. Oh, hi, Chihiro. You can also get them just by voting. Like, people can vote to give someone victory points. Usually you're going to have to amass a lot of diplomatic favor and vote for yourself. But in team games, I suppose people would vote for their team members. And I suppose that you can try and influence the AI to vote for you. But at a certain point, they're probably going to vote to take points away from you if you have a lot of points. Last game of Civ 6 I played, Barbarians, I actually lost because people voted, the whole world voted to take points away from me, and then someone else won enough points for completing an event like 3 turns later, which was frustrating. So yeah, in addition to AI, you can also play multiplayer, either locally or over the internet, and you can have a mix of players and AI. There are scenarios as well as different game modes, and of course mods. Yeah, I should build this settler. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And like if it's a game that's very good at stealing your time. In addition to being available on PC, it's also available on Mac. I'm not sure about running it on Linux. I don't know if it has official Linux support or if you could run it via Wine or Proton. This scout is going to die. I am a fool. I need an actual military unit to disband this barbarian camp.
At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst.
Another village. The gameplay also kind of changes depending on which phase of the game you're in. So we're in early games. A lot of the game's going to be about exploration, getting these villages for bonuses, destroying barbarian camps because they'll spawn anywhere where there's not player line of sight, and they'll attack nearby cities. Okay, so yeah, so now I have the government screen, where technologies and mainly civics, because in most games there's a tech tree, like in most Civ games, I guess all Civ games, where you use science points to get different technologies. But Civ 6 introduced the civics tree, which is kind of like the tech tree, but you get it via culture, and those tend to unlock policies which you can swap in and out, and your government type will change how many policy slots you have for each section. So I want to fight barbarians, so I should get discipline. And then since I only have a capital right now, I should get God King. I mean, you don't have to play it with the expansions. The expansions add more mechanics, more civs, more units, and stuff like that, features. So like the history timeline was added in the first expansion, and like natural disasters in the second. I mean, they added way more than that. So the way it works is you found cities. Cities produce units of buildings, which I can build here. So later, I get different more buildings and units will unlock. These are my borders. Borders expand via culture for the most part, and any borders within the city, the tiles can be worked. So say I can toggle the city details and I can see what each tile is worth, and as you get more citizens you can assign them. And in Civ 6 you have to worry about maximum housing, which you can expand through certain buildings, and amenities, which if they don't have enough amenities they'll be upset, and the larger the city grows the more amenities they want. Yeah, and so if they have a surplus of food, that goes towards growing more citizens. Gears like production goes towards production, producing things. There are specific resources which can go towards things like stone can help construction of certain wonders, say iron can produce, you need that to like produce swordsmen. Money is for gold, and then some tiles based on your religious civics can produce faith. So like based on your pantheon founding. And some tiles can produce culture based on improvements, which I used a worker to build that farm, and then I'll need to research other things to say build mines or quarries. And it used to be that workers just took a certain amount of time to build stuff, but in Civ 6 they build things instantly, but a worker can only work so many times before they disappear. You can later also then purchase things with gold and faith, and then gold can also be used for trading, and then also you'll have income and expenses based on how many units or buildings you have, what types they are. Yeah, culture will go towards civics, science will go towards science, and then when it comes to a cultural victory, think of culture as your defense and tourism as your offense. And so you have to have enough tourism to envelop every civ in your culture to win a cultural victory. And that volcano's erupting again. Something about natural disasters is they're not always all bad. So say since this volcano erupted, obviously if I had stuff there it would damage it and it would need to be repaired. But as you can see, it says volcanic soil. So if I improve a tile after the eruption, like say if I build a farm here, it'll produce more food because it will benefit from the volcanic soil. Same thing with floods, bringing sediment. And there's stuff you can do to prevent certain natural disasters, like with rivers you can build dams to prevent floods. Oh, so if you'll notice there's era score. So around here there's the score you need in a certain era. So like the game's broken down to eras like ancient, classical, medieval. Oh, a natural wonder.
Were chased by bears. The bears were just about to catch them when the girls jumped on a low rock. One of the girls prayed to the rock. Rock, take pity on us. Rock, save us. The rock heard them and began to grow upwards, pushing the girls higher and higher. I don't believe in astrology. I'm a Sagittarius, and we're skeptical.
So yeah, and this is the era score you need in that era to not get a Dark Age. So if you get a Dark Age, that's not good. You don't really get bonuses. In fact, I think you get the opposite of bonuses, but I think you get more opportunity to claw things back. If you reach the score, you'll have a normal age in the next age, and if you make it all yellow, you get a golden age in the next age. And at the end of each age, you can choose your era dedications, which will be ways you can choose to get bonus points. So like, say you can make your era dedication based on military combat, or on spreading your religion. So I found a natural wonder, which I can turn on one of the lenses here. Settler. Oh, these are like recommended tiles. That's not what I want. I wanted options. Yeah, yield icons. Oh, some natural wonders have high yield. I guess this one makes it so that every tile surrounding it gets an extra faith point. Yeah, and as you can see, that completed early. Here there's little boosts, which they added in Civ 6. Astrology's boost was to find a natural wonder. Let's say this is improved 3 tiles, and you can see this section here. This will fill in if I complete the boost, meaning that I can get it faster if I make sure to keep my eye out and get that boost. So since I don't see any animals nearby that would require animal husbandry, I could probably go mining, but then I might also want to try and get this cocoa. So go to the technology tree and see when I need to get cocoa, which would be irrigation. So I can queue it up on the tech tree, and it'll automatically research pottery, and then when it's done with that, it'll go into irrigation. So you can use that to easily make plans. Okay, I built that farm. I can also get the spices that way as well. No, that requires irrigation. These require plantation, right? No, that's also irrigation. Oh, that is what I'm getting. Never mind. I got confused. Plantation. I was playing Civ 4 recently, and that requires calendar. They change what the texts do in each game and the requirements. So since the city will be fine, I might as well go take out that barbarian camp. And the pathfinding doesn't know how to do that sometimes. See, it thinks it can go around here, because I haven't explored that yet. But I guarantee there's no way the land does that, so... yeah, I'll want to build more military later to protect my city, though. If you've played previous Civ games, but not Civ 5 or 6, you may not know that, I mean, 1, it's hexagons now, instead of squares. But Civ 6 also, and Civ 5, has a 1 unit of a type per tile. So like if you notice, scouts have a circle icon, builders have like a triangle icon, and eagle warriors also have a circle. So like the eagle warriors and the scouts can't take up the same tile because they count as military units. But the builder can take up the same tile because they're like a civilian unit. And this means that combat is a lot less about spamming as many units as you can, and it's more about positioning and using the units that you do have more intelligently. Alright, so I got my settler so I can create a new city. I want to get this cocoa. They recommend that I found it here. I don't want to found it on top of the jade resource. Let's see what the private color mode they recommended, but I can also make it 3 out. I think I'm going to get it here. Yeah, I think this is where I want it. I can't build barracks yet. I don't want to build slingers because they're defensive units to defend my cities. Oh right, I forgot that I can promote this scout. They also had a good balance change for Civ 6, which is I'll just have to wait till his next turn. Recon units, like scouts, are an experience by exploring instead of through combat.
Clay must feel happy in the good potter's hand. Skill without imagination is craftsmanship, and gives us many useful objects, such as wickerwork picnic baskets.
So yeah, I can choose promotion. Since I'm going through a lot of forest here, I might get the ranger promotion. So let's see. It'll take me a long time to get there, and I want to get the boost. So I'm going to go for foreign trade, because I don't know when I'll discover a second continent. Or I might research part of state workforce, and then back out when I get, so that it's only the boost left, and then I'll change what I'm researching. In Civ 6, a lot of like your tech and civic tree, like taking advantage of those boosts is important. Although I guess if you want advice on how to play the game, you shouldn't listen to me, since I'm not good at it. More options. The way you get roads is also different. It used to be that you built them with markers, but that would be horrific since builders can only do 3 at a time now. So instead you go by trade routes. I'm going to do a monument again since that will help expand the borders of my city. I like to do that because I like to have a lot of borders, but maybe I shouldn't always do that. Okay, I'll have the slinger protect this city, and then get this city protected with a slinger before I produce something different. I might produce another settler just to get more land. I might produce another scout. Oh, why is the production queue here? So yeah, what if I do settler? Oh, I guess I want a holy site though, don't I? Yeah, so this will get a bonus because it's next to a volcano. I'm gonna go settler, then queue up a holy site. I mean slinger. Settler, then Stonehenge. Oh, I can only overwrite my farm. I want Stonehenge though. So yeah, in Civ 6, wonders and districts, which are a new thing, take up physical space on the map. So like, it used to be that everything you built was housed inside of the city. But yeah, now things actually spread out on the map. A lot of good luxury resources up here. So anyways, it's been 30 minutes already and I've done like nothing, so that's it for the first episode. I will record another one right after this. Alright.